call Reverend Al Sharpton directly on air at 877-532-5797. Now stay tuned for Reverend Al.
This is Reverend Al Sharpton. As you watch the broadcast, support National Action Network. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and be involved. You can join, take your membership right online, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Getting ready to start the program, but we need you to be part of the movement.
Thank you for joining us for Weekdays Live with Reverend Al Sharpton. Take the time to share this broadcast right now. Tell your friends it's time to keep it real with Reverend Al. Comment your questions now in the chat or call Reverend Al Sharpton directly on air at 877-532-5797. Now stay tuned for Reverend Al.
This is Reverend Al Sharpton. As you watch the broadcast, support National Action Network. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and be involved. You can join, take your membership right online, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Getting ready to start the program, but we need you to be part of the movement.
Thank you for joining us for Weekdays Live with Reverend Al Sharpton. Take the time to share this broadcast.
country talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body, if he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop, but he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God done smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. One more time. I want to say it real slow. I'll say God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Pick it up. God has smiled on me. Then I went on by backstage at the Apollo Theater and I saw a man come out. They call him the King of Soul, James Brown. And James Brown said, Reverend, don't you worry. I started out as a shoe shine boy. I started out as a convict. I started out uneducated. But I learned to sing my song. And I sung it all over the world. I told him it was a man's world. I told him about the big payback. I told him Papa got a brand new bag. And all over the world, they can hear my voice. But Reverend, don't you frown. Don't you bow your head. Tell them what you told me, Brother Brown. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to scream, y'all. I want to scream, y'all. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Traveling around the country, talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If He woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King say, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I see as Dr. King went on.
Oh, what time it is. Yes.
Let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you.
Aside
What you can do for
all
your country.
pretenses,
Don't
deception,
because God
denial, or fronting. The time has come to keep it real on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. A very good afternoon to you all across the country. And good morning to our West Coast listeners. Welcome to those listening on Sirius XM, Channel 126, The Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. I'm coming to you live from our National Action Network corporate headquarters in New York. For the next 3 hours, you can call in at 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797, or you can go on our message page at our live stream at nationalactionnetwork.net. nationalactionnetwork.net. Go to live stream. You can watch the show live, and you can put a message in the message on our message post, and we will read some of you on the air. Like JD the poet is already gone on and sent me a message. Good afternoon from Milwaukee, WNOV, a black-owned station. Good afternoon to you, JD. And we got a lot to talk about today. We're really, I think, closer than a lot of us want to think about this country moving quickly and with little resistance to an oligarchy and or dictatorship. When you see an administration openly defying a Supreme Court decision, a unanimous Supreme Court decision, that ordered the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Garcia, they admit, was wrongly taken. They said, oops, and now they're saying, but we can't do nothing about it. Trump's press secretary today said it's up to El Salvador, and that he's fine with him staying in El Salvador. How are you fine with staying in El Salvador if you're admitting he shouldn't have been sent there? And when you deal with the exemplifying of a broad confrontation between the executive branch of government and the judicial, and the judicial says he shouldn't be there, bring him back, and the executive said, well, we can't do nothing about it, and he just got to stay there. If El Salvador sends him back, we'll try to accommodate it, but we're not doing nothing. You are in the middle of a real erosion of the rule of law. And, despite this administration's resistance, federal courts still possess mechanisms to enforce compliance, like diplomatic mandates, financial penalties, increased judicial review prior to deportation. There are ways that things can happen, but they shouldn't happen unless you're dealing with an outright attempt to say, we're in charge and nothing can put me in check. And you have to ask yourself, the Trump administration defying the courts, including the Supreme Court, is absolutely more than anyone could think. But look at his administration. You have in the Department of Defense, Darren Selnick is placed on leave amid a probe on leaking. Selnick, who was the Deputy Chief of Staff in the Department of Defense, was placed on administrative leave as a part of an investigation into an unauthorized national security leak involving sensitive communications within the office of the Secretary of Defense. Now, this is Hegseth. They've not been in 100 days now. Hegseth has put his deputy on leave, sensitive information, and I think that it is scary, but it ought not be something that freezes us. it's just scary. You see that even in red states with red members of Congress and senators, that people that voted for Trump are pushing back. Senator Chuck Grassley, was roundly heckled and questioned last night in Iowa about Garcia. I mean, these are not people that sympathize with people from Venezuela. But they saying, wait a minute, what is this? Why can't y'all get that guy back? Boo, 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 boo. I mean, nobody is, because everybody understands that if they can start picking people off the street, accusing them of being gang members and terrorists, and then sending them to a foreign country and put them in one of the most brutal prisons in the world, and then say, oops, we made a mistake, they weren't all that, and say, but you know what we can do about it, they just got to live there unless they decide to send them back, which is unlikely. That can happen to your son, your daughter, you. We are really in serious crossroads in this country. Also, while we were meeting with Pepsi's CEO yesterday, I was heartened when I had gotten up yesterday very early, was doing my workout, and saw Harvard University, one of the most prestigious in the world and probably in the country is the most prestigious, refused to bend to Donald Trump. Trump saying he wanted them to do certain things with diversity, certain review. The administration had the right to review some things they were doing. They said no. He says, I'm going to take $2.2 billion with a B dollars from you. Take it. We'll fight it out. And now you've got Sanford and Yale talking about, I'm speaking at Yale tonight, in fact, talking about maybe supporting their position. Sometimes you got to have some backbone. We learned that as recent as doing our boycotts and announcing that we giving days or we going to boycotts, which, you know, people all know, here comes Sharpton again. Well, the CEO met with us yesterday. We're going to see if they keep some commitments or we going through the boycott. We're going to meet with another company tomorrow. If you step out there and stand up, you may lose. But if you don't stand up, you're guaranteed to lose. So you got to take the shot and got to have courage. And if you are not one with courage and conviction, you ought not be out there in the front in the first place. If you're going to be in the front, you're going to be a leader, lead. If you're just going to make noise, after a while, people get tired of your noise, including you. These are decisive times. These are not times to try to find middle ground. Trump and his crowd is not looking for middle ground. I got up going to the gym this morning, all over the front page of one of the right-wing tabloids. They're after New York State Attorney General Tish James. I mean, that's what they do. And they always have, and they always will. The question is, are we strong enough to take the heat, take the pressure? And are we loyal enough to stand by those that are taking the heat for us? Because you know, some of us, oh Lord, they after so-and-so, oh, I know something was up. No, stand up and know what it is that we're facing. Anytime a man can tell the Supreme Court, I'm not, in essence, he's saying, I'm not going to do what y'all tell me. And I want y'all to end diversity, equity, and inclusion because it discriminates against whites. So I said yesterday in a meeting at Pepsi-Cola, let me get this right. If you have let's go to asset management, financial services. If I have a black guy that every one of his customers, states, municipalities, and private companies like yours, sir, that he has taken their pension funds, invested it, and returned a higher margin than the people that had it before. Is that not merit? If he's out producing the people you already had, is that not merit? So how is it when a black outperforms, it's DEI? When a white performs, it's merit. Merit is who can deliver the best services. All we're fighting for is to give an equal access for the best consideration to everybody, because you lock blacks out. I'm not asking you to take less return on your dollar or less service. I'm saying open up, we'll outcompete with everybody. Jackie Robinson could play baseball before 42. You would not let him. Once he got on the field, Dodgers could win. We can win. We're not asking for no charity. We're asking for parity. And if you don't want to do that, then we will not spend our dollars where we are offended, insulted, and excluded. I hear the music. Let me take my break. I'm coming back, taking your phone calls and reading off the message page. All right, Erlene Chambliss is saying good morning from Tucson, Arizona. Good morning, Erlene. Let's take a break. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
So who is Al Sharpton anyway? Who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I had to learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing and I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that called me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustler and all, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament
to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell, a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor State right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them, now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that I first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old. With the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
As I was sitting at my desk doing the radio show, I thought about during one of the commercials. I keep right behind my desk a picture. This photo is Frederica Washington, Bishop Washington's daughter, who I grew up under. Ronnie Dyson, who became a Broadway star of hair, grew up in church with us. And me as a minister doing a Tom Thumb wedding. They used to have Tom Thumb weddings for the kids, teaching us how to have a wedding and to be married. And I was the preacher. I was about 9 years old in this picture. I was already been preaching since I was 4. I keep things around me like that, reminding me of my journey. You have the habit of looking at things to see how far you've come, where you started. I was a boy preacher here. Both Frederica and Ronnie have died, and I'm still preaching, I'm still here. I thank God I don't take any day for granted, nor do I take me starting early for granted. Don't take your life for granted. Remember it, chart it, and be grateful for it.
It's been a long time coming, but I know.
1968, Dr. Martin King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
I have a dream today.
When they came for the dream. That's when Haile Selassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia, came here, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., who was pastor here now, that Ethiopian Coptic cross. That was my first hero in civil rights and politics.
As I know here, you're in trouble, where it says about 30% are unemployed. That's why I'm working hard to get this surplus food here. Some of you say to me, well, I'm not like you. I'm not a congressman. I haven't got education. I haven't got work. But you're a human being. And you know what you've got? You've got in your hands the power to use your vote and to use even those few cents you get from welfare to spend them only where you want to
Reverend
spend
Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797, Twitter.com, The Rev Al, Twitter.com, The Rev Al. And we're taking your calls at 1-877-532-5797. And you can go to our live stream at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And, of course, you can, on the nationalactionnetwork.net live stream, you can put whatever message you want on the message page. I see Lori Parks just checked in. Johnny Johnson writes on the message page, we must overstand, not understand, overstand that neither the Republican or Democratic Party will champion black liberation, Pan-Africanism, or perish. Black generational wealth, reparations, not noization, only an independent 77 million. Rev, when we reach age 70 years old, it's time to overstand all opposition isn't opposition. Yeah, I understand that and agree with that, Johnny. But I also understand that our people can't wait on us keep talking about something that we are not dealing with their immediate needs. And we need to, if there are those in the Democratic Party that can get some things done that help our people now, or if there's some people in the Republican Party could do that. They ought to do that while we fight for the overall reparations and other things we want. I think it is the height of insensitivity and arrogance to tell people to just don't do nothing, don't take anything that will help them until we get the dreams that we want, which are the legitimate goals of our community, reparations and self and government and all that. But I don't have the right to tell people that don't worry about how you're gonna eat, sleep, pay your bills. Don't worry about all that. Just go along with that till we get this other stuff going. Ever since I was born, we've been talking about a lot of these things and never got them. And we're going to get them one day. But I'm not going to tell people to don't forget about your human rights and civil rights and voting rights in the process. I'm not going to do that. Now, there's some that want to do that and go ahead and do that. But I'm not with that. I think we can do both and. Let me, by way of announcements, let us please, over this holiday weekend, don't tune out. People will be spending money with people that are not in their interest. People will be engaging in some services, not all of them, but some services that will not link this Good Friday, Easter weekend with an interpretation of what it means now and how you can deal with the fact that Jesus was a political prisoner. So don't tune out. Watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. I'll be live both days, Saturday and Easter Sunday, turn it on. Your family coming. Some of you that are having dinner or Easter dinner, turn it on. If you turn it on, I'll keep them on. 5 p.m. Eastern time on MSNBC. And Rita DeGraffin Reed is saying, hello, Al Sharpton, much love to everyone, and that's forever, for real, for sure, black love. Love you back. You that in the New York area that are visiting or that stay, live, inhabit New York or New Jersey, Connecticut, meet me at the Saturday Action Rally. I will be there Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in Harlem at the House of Justice, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue in the village of Harlem. Be there 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You that are not in that, in the New York vicinity, you can, of course, watch it live on Impact Television, the only black-owned national gospel cable station. You can watch the whole rally there, or you can go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and watch it there. And we're getting ready for the big August 28th March on Wall Street. We usually, on the anniversary of the March on Washington, August 28th, 1963 is when it occurred, where Dr. King made the keynote address known as I Have a Dream, though he talked about a lot of stuff. And we, rather than go to Washington this year, we're going to write to Wall Street. We want to go where the stock exchange is and hold a rally, putting them on warning that you can stop doing business with us so we can stop doing business with you. Corporate America needs to understand Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, that whole crowd can't make us buy your stuff. So plan to be in New York with us. You that want to help and just say, Reverend Al, I don't know what to say. I will send you a weekly paragraph. Say this to your family why they need to go. Say this to your club members, your bingo partners, your church friends, your fraternities. Sign up right now at www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. We need to make a huge statement. People all over the country showing up, tens of thousands. We need to show up and show our strength, our outrage. We're at the bottom of the barrel and being too quiet. Let's take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back. Shop at Costco. 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 Shop at Costco.
Country, talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If He woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We say? And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King say, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I see as Dr. King went on, another man stepping to the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God doesn't smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. One more time. I want to say this song. I'll say God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Pick it up. God has smiled on me. He's been good. Then I went on backstage at the Apollo Theater and I saw a man come out. They call him the King of Soul, James Brown. And James Brown said, Reverend, don't you worry. I started out as a shoe shine boy. I started out as a convict. I started out uneducated. But I learned to sing my song. And I sung it all over the world. I told him it was a man's world. I told him about the big payback. I told him Papa got a brand new bag. And all over the world, they can hear my voice. But Reverend, don't you frown. Don't you bow your head. Tell him what you told me, Brother Brown. I said, now God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Yeah. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I went home and I told my mother what Brown told me. And she said, son, even though we don't have much, we don't need relief. All we need is belief. And she said, he didn't tell you no lie, because the Lord will take care of you. God sits high, but he looks down low. And every time you get discouraged, every time you're burdened down, all you have to do is think of the things that God made a way for you and look toward the heavens. Lift your eyes to the hills and say, God, 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 don't smile on me. Now then, the God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. And that has been so good to me. Yes, he has. I say, God smiled on me. He has set me free. And I know all over the country, smile on me. We need jobs. We need a way to make it. We need help. We need jobs. We need a way to make some money to feed our families and raise our bread. We need a way to survive, so we don't need crime as a survival kit. We just need a little bit. But don't give the hope up. Don't lose the faith, because God will smile on you. God will give you the strength. God will make a way for you. Adam Clayton Powell said, keep the faith. Keep the faith, baby. I hear Robert Kennedy saying that it's not the dream of, but it's the dream that'll live on forever. Just know that God will smile on you. Dr. King had a dream. Dr. King said, I went to the mountaintop, but I didn't stop there. I looked over and saw the promised land. I hear Brother Malcolm saying, don't sit on the stoop. Stand up and be a man. Respect yourself. Be somebody. Then I hear the brothers in the Hispanic community say, I'm going to stand up and be a man. I'm going to do the best I can. I had a reaper say, I don't care what time you come home, but just give me some respect when you get there. Lord, now God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Sit down. And as we Just remember that if we look to God, God has the answer to all of our problems. God is still the same God He was years ago, and we can still make it. We can still hold on like Frederick Douglass did. We can still keep him on like Martin Luther King did. We can still ride on the way everyone that made it did. They didn't have much, but they had a whole lot of faith. They didn't have money, but they had a lot of determination. We know that God will look out for His children, that God will make a way out of no way if you just keep the faith and refuse to lose. And God will make a way, because God's children don't have color. God's children just have will. And I can still hear somewhere in my mind James Brown say, God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me sing here. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord.
Thank you for joining us for Weekdays Live with Reverend Al Sharpton. Take the time to share this broadcast right now. Tell your friends it's time to keep it real with Reverend Al. Comment your questions now in the chat or call Reverend Al Sharpton directly on air at 877-532-5797. Now stay tuned for Reverend Al.
This is Reverend Al Sharpton and your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Let's go to Ira in Washington, D.C., WOL. Ira.
What'd you say?
Ira.
Refresh your screen, sir.
I'm sorry, we got dealing with yesterday's screen. All right, I'm with us now. Let's go to let's start with Angela in Cleveland, Ohio. Angela, Cleveland, Ohio, WERE.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh man, listen, sir, Mr. Sharpton, I think I caught you last week, but I'm listening to you. I'm glad you understand the dynamics of that high level, but I'm trying to reach the people. I believe this is my calling. I know it is. God showed it to me. When you spoke to me, I've been asking people, for some reason, God told me to come and form a human race army, that we're going to need to stand up, and somebody going to need to open their mouth, and He gave me the message 40 years ago, brother. Showed it to me, told it to me, but revealed it April 3rd of this year. And back then, Jesse Jackson thing was coalition push, meaning people united to save humanity. This is what needs to be done. He told me 40 years ago, brother, he said, only this time, when you come, pray, push gonna mean pray until something happens. This I'm convicted now. This is my call, and I'm telling the people, if we don't come together as brothers and sisters in Christ, as a human race, we're headed for doomsday. Donald Trump is bullying the people. And right now, he done went up on the Mega Million, $3. I want $1 to go to Cleveland Public School. They just threatened to close 5 other schools up here in Ohio. There should be no hungry people. God said there's enough land and milk and honey for all His children. And guess what He told me last night? He said, anytime we can't get the trucks over there to feed these people, guess what God told me? He said, tell them to send some seeds. I was like, oh, my God, come on. Come on, people. We'll stand together as a human race against anything. The same way the law is sitting down writing law, we can sit down as a human race. Right now, I got a petition in my hand. I got 17 signatures so far. I just started it yesterday evening, asking for $1 of them $3 that they went up on the Mega Million, going directly to the Cleveland Public School. There should be,
I think that the resources going to the schools is a great idea and a great vision and mission, Angela. Thank you for your call. Let me go to Alan in Baltimore, Maryland, WOLB. Alan?
How you doing, Reverend Al?
I'm
How you
doing
doing, Reverend
fine.
Al? You're a courageous man. Let me say this right here, like Reverend Jackson, because he freed that guy in the Middle East. And I'm going to make this point. You know, it's Good Friday, and Donald Trump and Chief Justice John Roberts, they washing their hands away from that Kilmar Garcia issue. He was wrongly accused, like Jesus. And you see how much he cared about that family, because his wife, Kilmar Garcia's wife, is in Prince George County, Maryland, the richest county in the world, run by blacks. Let me tell you this. You know who can run for president in 2028 because you are courageous. Reverend Jackson's courageous. Surely Vice President Kamala Harris should have went with Van Hollen to make herself look like she's for the brown folks. Now Trump, he's trying to get all the white voters to be in a cut mindset. If she would have got on that airplane with Van Hollen, I wouldn't ask Senator Chris Van Hollen to run for president in 2028. He's 66 years old, and look at all the immigrants in California. That Kamala is missing her moment. Easter weekend, you don't see Donald Trump carrying no Bibles. So I don't listen to nothing this man said. The guy, he just he was charged in Florida, Reverend Sharpton, with treason. You know those documents in his Mar-a-Lago, whatever, his dwellings, and his I think his own sons kind of snitched him out. You remember that? He supposed to went to for Jack, what's his name? Jack Smith, supposed to prosecuting in Maryland Garden. Well, what happened to that case? It went away, right? So this, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Check this out. If Donald Trump is held in contempt, the U.S. Marshal worked for the president. So Donald Trump is acting just like Barabbas. I'm going to wash my hands from this. And the Chief Justice got to keep all the other 8 justices in line because he's in charge. His vote don't mean nothing. He looked like Roger Taney, and they probably come to some kind of Missouri compromise and said that the immigrants are 3/5 human, 60% human because they
the Roger Taney, as you quoted, thank you for your call, Alan, was the one that was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court when they did the Dred Scott decision saying that blacks had no rights, that whites had to respect. That's who Judge Roger Taney was. And the president that nominated Taney to the court was President Andrew Jackson. And the portrait that Donald Trump hung in the Oval Office over his desk, the first time he was president and this time, was Andrew Jackson. That's his idea of an ideal president, one who puts the Supreme Court justice on that says blacks have no rights that anyone was bound to respect, the president who owned slaves. That's Donald Trump's hero. Where are some of my Trump defenders? Call me and explain to me how you rationalize that. Let's go to Woody in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Woody.
Mysterious ways. He's always leading us in directions. All we have to do is learn how to follow the way. Now, a person says, well, what is the way? Well, if you know right from wrong, you know the way. Just try not to go in the opposite direction of what is right, and you'll be walking in the footsteps properly. So I just shared the basic fundamentals because, as I shared with you before, here in Philadelphia, 52% of our citizens can't read at third grade level. And that's not by mistake. Donald Trump, when he first got in office, he said, African Americans, what the hell do you have to lose? Your schools are messed up. You can't get money from banks, and you're being gentrified out of your neighborhoods. I want to know, what can we do to follow up on that to make sure he answers what he said he was going to do, just by pushing the point, because it was factual, but he's never mentioned it again.
Yeah, well, I think he's mentioned it by reversing things that we did have to lose, like DEI appointments and contracts and all. And I think that he has shown what we got to lose. They're passing this voter registration, this voter bill, saying that you've got to prove citizenship in order to register to vote or vote. So if you got a passport, that's good. But how many of us don't have passports because we're not traveling overseas? Right. We don't need it. Or if you have your birth certificate and you're a woman and got married, your birth certificate doesn't have your married name on it. It's another way of disenfranchising us.
That's right.
All right, Woody, thank you for your call. Let me go to Janet in Houston, Texas. Janet.
Hi, Rev. I'm so honored to be with you. I just wanted to call to thank you for the many deposits that you have put into my life over the years and on a daily basis with your morning inspiration moments. Also, our paths have crossed several years. I was an attender at Bethany Baptist and CCC.
Okay.
I've had many conversations with both Reverend Jones as well as A.R. Bernard. So I deeply want to appreciate you. I also dropped off a token of my appreciation. I came in late from a client at NAB, and I dropped off a book for you as a token of my appreciation. It's a book that I had written, and I hope that you got it.
All right, well, what's the name of the book?
Human GPS, God's Perfect Script.
I think it's on my desk uptown. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it out and read it now. Thank you for your kind words. And you said magic when you said Reverend Jones and A.R. Bernard. Reverend Jones mentored me since I was 12. He's the one who brought me in the breadbasket, and he and Jesse Jackson made me the youth director. I was 13 years old. And he rebaptized me a Baptist. And A.R. Bernard has been a real life coach to me the last 15 years. We've been close. I don't know anybody in the pulpit that has more of a ministry that will build people's character and build them toward self-realization than A.R. Bernard. So you said two magic things there, Janet. I've got to look for your book on the desk and read it. Thank you for your call. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, 1-877-532-5797. Be right back. I had a thought this morning that I wanted to share with you about mentorship. I am able to do a lot of what I do because I had great mentors. But there are correct ways and incorrect ways to mentor people, in my opinion. I was mentored as a boy preacher by Bishop F.D. Washington, one of the great Pentecostal preachers of his time. Then Reverend William Jones, who became my pastor after Bishop Washington died, who was unquestionably in the top 5 black church ministers, theologians. Reverend Jesse Jackson, who I started my activism under his leadership, he and Reverend Jones. And I learned politics directly as a youth director from Shirley Chisholm. So even though I didn't finish college, I had the most unique education in the world from being exposed to giants. But the one thing I learned is as I grew older and people started coming younger than me and wanted me to teach and mentor them, the magic of the mentors I had is they did not want me to be their clone. They wanted me to learn things from them and use my own gifts and talents in my own unique way and let me do things on my own because they knew that if I flopped in some things, it would teach me for the other things. They'll come and help me once I was down, but they were not going to have me avoid being down. And they were not going to impose themselves on me. Why am I saying that? Because too many mentors